Hey lovely sexy gaming people. Okay, so today's video is Dungeons & Dragons Adventure issue 7. I've purchased this as an additional to my subscription, mainly because I wanted an extra set of the glow in the dark dice. But let's get this open. Have a look at the dice momentarily. So, Dungeons and Dragons, new and exclusive adventure. Choose your weapon, learn to create D&D puzzles, and meet the gnomes. So, conditions part 2. Additional effects can aid or impair characters and creatures they encounter. So, yeah. Exhaustion. Paralysed, petrified, stunned and grappled. So I've not seen exhaustion before. Exhaustion is measured in 6 worsening levels. The effects description will say if it delivers 1 or more levels of exhaustion. If an already exhausted creature suffers another effect that causes exhaustion, its level of exhaustion increases by the amount specified in the effects description. So that's interesting. As I say, I've not come across exhaustion before. Obviously, I've come across paralysed, petrified, grappled and stunned. So for those of you that have purchased the D&D Essentials set previously, they had a number of cards that they basically gave you a number of cards that gave you the main conditions. But exhaustion wasn't included, so I'm assuming exhaustion is very much dependent on, say for example, the DM's decisions or an item that they come across by the sounds of it. But yeah, so we had quite a few last week. And then this week we finished them off. So we got unconscious, prone, restrained, poisoned, invisible, stunned, frightened, blinded, grappled, paralysed, petrified, charmed, deafened and incapacitated. Now these cards, so on the corresponding front of the card, it tells you what it does, and I find these really good in game. I've actually photocopied them and then laminated them for inclusion in my game that I'm playing, so that if myself or any other of the characters that are playing have any effects foisted upon us, I can just put a card down next to the player that suffered that, so that they've got a reminder, and I find that really useful. A creature suffers the effects of its current level of exhaustion as well as all lower levels. For example, a creature suffering from level 2 exhaustion has its speed halved and has disadvantage on ability checks. An effect that removes exhaustion reduces its level as specified in the effects description. All exhaustion effects, and if a creature's exhaustion level is reduced below 1. Sorry, all exhaustion effects end if a creature's exhaustion level is reduced below 1. Finishing a long rest reduces a creature's exhaustion level by 1, provided that the creature has also ingested some food and drink. Being raised from the dead also reduces a creature's exhaustion level by 1. See, that's interesting. That's something that I've not, as I say, not come across yet. So coins and currency. So as much as they have coins, they also have bars. And we were lucky enough in our current adventure to discover, we slew a dragon and discovered a reasonable hoard, which included platinum bars. So they came in really handy when we wanted to buy some uncommon potions. But essentially you have copper pieces, silver pieces, electro, have I got it down here? Copper pieces, silver pieces, electrum, gold pieces and platinum pieces. And you do, as you accrue wealth, you will also spend money. So for example, if you end up in a tavern and you want to stay the night and have a meal and a drink, the dungeon master will say that's going to cost you X amount, and you obviously then have to pay that and reduce your own pot of money accordingly. From riddles to moving boxes, there's an array of puzzles DMs can introduce to test adventurers' quick thinking skills. So this is good. There are several different flavours of puzzle that you can use in an adventure. Perhaps the simplest of these is the basic riddle, a question with a simple answer phrased in a confusing or deceptive way. Riddles are a classic of the fantasy genre for a reason, and are very easy to slip into a dungeon. The question can be etched into a wall or spoken by an enchanted gargoyle, and simply speaking the answer aloud can be enough to unlock a door or produce some other magical effect. It helps that there are literally thousands of riddles waiting for DMs online. A quick search can help you find ones that fit your dungeon's theme, whether that's fire, time or even dragons. On the other end of the scale, there are much more practical puzzles. These are things like moving boxes so players create a floating bridge across a flooded chamber, or connecting ancient pipes together to help a machine sputter to life. These can often require a little more effort on the DM's part, as they usually need detailed maps or even physical props to make sense, but when they work well, they really work. The puzzle classics tiled floor. The chamber has a tiled floor with each slab bearing a letter or symbol. The only way to safe way to cross the room is to use the tiles to spell out the answer to a question posed earlier in the adventure. The mirrored room. The chamber has a mirror running the length of one wall, but its reflection doesn't quite match up with reality. The heroes must rearrange the contents of the room so they match up. That's interesting. The empty-handed statue. There's a statue that looks like it should be carrying something, but it's currently empty-handed. The party must work out what to put in its hands, either by following some kind of clue, such as a painting in an earlier chamber, or working it out by context, e.g. a statue of Tyr, god of justice, should be holding scales. So yeah, puzzles. Actions and bonus actions in combat. Choose your actions and bonus actions wisely to foil your enemies and aid your allies. So, there are three main elements to a character's turn in combat, and you can use these in any order. So there's movement, action and bonus action. Once per round, your character also gets one reaction. See our explanation of how those works in the Introduction to Combat booklet. So, actions. Bonus actions. Various class features, spells and other abilities state that you can take a quick special action called a bonus action. For example, a fighter can heal with their second wind as a bonus action, while the cleric's healing word spell can be cast as a bonus action. These are often listed under feature and traits on a character sheet. Some classes may not have any bonus actions to take, but any character holding 2 light melee weapons can also choose the 2 weapon fighting bonus action. So yeah, so actions, you can attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, help, So your character can spend their action aiding another creature. When you take help action, the creature gains advantage on the next ability check it makes to perform the task you are helping with. You must make the check before the start of your next turn. You can also help an ally that is attacking a creature within 5 feet of you. If your ally attacks the target before your next turn, the first attack roll is made with advantage. Hide. Your character makes a dexterity stealth check in an attempt to evade an opponent. Ready. If the circumstances are not yet right to act, you can take the ready action on your turn. This holds the action until the start of your next turn. When a trigger an event, which you decide when you choose the ready action occurs, you use your reaction to unleash the readied action. For example, if an enemy is behind a closed door, you can ready the attack action to take place if the door opens. If that trigger occurs before the start of your next turn, you use your reaction to launch the attack. Remember that you can take only one reaction per round. To be readied, a spell must have a casting time of 1 action. Holding onto the readied spell's magic requires concentration, so you can't concentrate on another spell at the same time. So there you go. Right, weapons, part 1. Now there's a plethora of weapons. I have our Dungeon Master gave myself and a friend a small challenge, and we managed to find a load of stuff which included the Vorpal sword, which I've taken, and it's absolutely brilliant. Choose your weapon wisely. Your life may depend on it. So quite often you might choose a weapon which is synonymous with your character type. You know, so what, dwarves are quite famous for battle axes. You know, elves are quite famous for their bow work, and so on. So weapons, part 2. Now this seems to talk about things like ammunition, finesse, whether it's a heavy or small weapon, a light weapon, loading, range, reach, thrown, two-handed and versatile. Two-weapon fighting and improvised weapons. Somebody's using a skillet there. Tiffany Aiken would be very pleased. Choosing the right armour for your character provides the movement or protection they need. Light armour, medium armour and heavy armour. I've just found, I've just recovered a set of plate armour. But it's a bit manky, so I need to spend some time restoring it, and then I need to decide what I'm going to do with it. Gnomes. Rock gnomes are known for their ingenuity as tinkers, forest gnomes as natural illusionists, and subterranean deep gnomes for their stealthiness and tenacity. Gnomes may be small, but they can certainly live large. What they lack in physical presence, they usually make up for with their energy and craftsmanship. So there you go. Forgotten folk. Gnome cultures. So rock gnomes, deep gnomes, and forest gnomes. Then we come on to our encounter, and this is Greywind's Conundrum. So it looks like we're going to have a puzzle. So that's interesting. Right, encounter overview. Lenine Greywind, the owner and manager of a trading post in the frontier town of Fandalin, recently ordered a mechanical puzzle box to secure her most valuable treasures. Unfortunately, it arrived without instructions explaining how to open it. The box is riddled with devious traps to deter thieves. Fearful of her own safety, Lenine hires the adventurers to uncover how it operates before she falls foul of its tricks. To complete this encounter, the adventurers must figure out how to open the puzzle box so that Lenine can use it safely. Beginning the encounter. The encounter begins with the adventurers entering the Lion Shield Costa, a modest trading post in Fandalin. See Daylight Robbery in D&D Adventure 4. The owner and manager, Lenine Greywind, keeps a supply of weapons for sale, so interested buyers in the back room of the establishment. The adventurers have come to browse the goods on offer. When the adventurers enter the trading post, read the following box text. The Lion Shield Costa is crammed with trade goods from nearby city Yatar. In a back room, swords, shields and other fighting gear are available for sale. The manager stands by the counter frowning at a large steel engraved box with pictographed. Confound this thing, she mutters. How do I get inside it? So there you go. There's your setup. Solving the puzzles in the wrong order. If a puzzle is activated out of order, that is, they solve a puzzle that doesn't complete or begin a pair of faces, the following events occur. Puzzle reset. Sword defenders. The 12 flying swords emerge from the box and hover above it, attacking any creatures they can see. If a sword goes 1 minute without seeing any humanoid creatures in its 60-foot radius blind sight, see stat block, page 41, and has at least 1 hit point, it returns to the box and regains all its hit points. So there you go. Okay. Flying sword, shield, blind sight. So this looks like a really good, you know, you're not out there fighting stuff. This is going to be a real test of your mental logic and ingenuity. The magical protections, the puzzle box faces. The mechanical storage box has 6 faces, each with their own magical traps and puzzles. You've got dragon, rabbits, wombats, badgers, tarantulas, and a clockwork defender. Now the clockwork defender is on the back here. Look at that. That is fantastic. That's so cool. It's like a dragon's head with a crossbow attached behind it on wheels, and it's got like a pair of pincer claws here for loading up the crossbow bolts in it. That is just great. Right, let's have a look at the dice, shall we? Come down. Come forward a bit. Right, so another set. As I say, I bought a second set because I just want 2 sets of glow-in-the-dark dice. And there they are. I will try and leave these on the windowsill, or even by my bedside lamp, and hopefully later on this evening in the dark I will try and get some video of how bright they are. But I like them. Let's put that back there. See how our D20 rolls. Oh, that's not good. A 1, 12, 8, 18, 6, 4, 18, 8, 10, 16, 8, 12, 5, 2, 14, 19. Okay, so I don't know, I suppose that's an even mix. There's a nice natural 20 there. Another natural 20. Yeah, I think I might put that in my, oh, another natural 20. I might stick these into my currently used mix of dice. But there you go, they're nice, I like them. I'm going to go and stick these under my bedside lamp so that when I switch the lamp on later on this evening, they'll get plenty of light, and then we'll check out how they work, how well they work in the dark, shall we? Right, see you in a sec.